Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. The Monday night broadcast, Dan Orlowski and the crew, they were in the booth. And Peter Schrager was the sideline reporter, and we know that Tom Brady is the minority owner for the New England Patriots. Not the New England Patriots, excuse me. He is the minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. And just to give a little history, if I'm not mistaken, and I couldn't quite get the source right, but I think last year, or was it a year before, Tom Brady was denied ownership stake because of him being with Fox. I think it was last year. Some stuff going on with Fox and things of that nature. So they finally accepted his, they finally finalized, and the league and the owners got together and they were able to, what's the term I'm looking for? Accept Tom Brady's request to be a minority owner and, accept his stake into the NFL. So there are some, there are some stipulations with that. He's a minority owner, and he is Fox's top broadcaster for the big games of the week, America's games of the week. So during the Monday Night Football game, Tom Brady was seen in the booth with a headset on. And everybody got in there all hoorah about it because Peter Schrager pretty much reported that Tom Brady consults with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll multiple times a week to go over the game plan and film, per Peter Schrager during the broadcast. Now, this came under a lot of fire the next day. The NFL had to come out with a quote about it. Even Pete Carroll, in his post-game interview, he downplayed everything about the whole Pete Carroll and, Tom Brady having a stake, being in the game plan and the situations and things of that nature. And I'm going to read an article here. And it's by ESPN. NFL says Tom Brady didn't violate rules in Raiders booth. Tom Brady did not violate any NFL rules by wearing a headset in the Las Vegas Raiders coaching booth during Monday Night Football. The NFL said Tuesday in a statement that Brady, a minority owner with the Raiders and a broadcaster for Fox, is prohibited from going to a team facility for practices or production meetings, but the former quarterback is allowed to sit in the coach's booth. This is from quote by Brian McCarthy for the NFL. There are no policies that prohibit an owner from sitting in the coach's booth or wearing a headset during a game. Brady was sitting in the booth in his capacity as a limited partner. All personnel sitting in the booth must abide by policies that prohibit the use of electronic devices other than league-issued equipment such as Microsoft Surface tablets for the sideline viewing system. Telecast showed Brady in the Raiders booth wearing a headset during the first quarter. Coach Pete Carroll said Tuesday that Brady is not planning games with us, and that's what I was saying. In the whole thing with the stuff going on about the report that Peter Schrager made, which Peter Schrager is a credible reporter, and he said that Chip Kelly, and this is per Chip Kelly and them, and Pete Carroll, they get together with Tom Brady about the game plan, and somebody, there's something fishy going on. He's not talking to, and this is still Pete Carroll, he's not talking to us about anything other than our conversations we have that are really random. They are not set up. They're not structured in any way. He knows. He's been very respectful of what he does otherwise. He's of the opinion that he doesn't want to be that kind of factor, so he's not. After his 23-year playing career, Brady made his Fox debut last season on a massive contract, but limitations were put on Brady because of his agreement becoming a partial owner of the Raider, a deal that was approved by the league owners in October. As a broadcaster, he gets access to other teams' players and coaches that owners do not have, raising concerns about a conflict of interest. So this is where I'm getting confused. So they're saying that Tom Brady is prohibited from going to team facilities and for practices and production meetings. But in this same sentence, as it says, as a broadcaster, he gets access to other teams' players and coaches. So I think that Tom Brady is still able to communicate with the coaches and the players in some way, form, or fashion, because I have another article to back this up. But let's finish this. The NFL recently relaxed some of his restrictions for Brady in that role, including allowing him to take part in The NFL recently relaxed some of its restrictions for Brady in that role, including allowing him to take part in production meetings. When a broadcast crew meets with that game's head coaches and key players this season, he must take part in those meetings remotely, and he isn't allowed to attend practices and team facilities. So he is still able to talk to coaches. Tom continues to be prohibited from going to team facilities for practices or production meetings. He may attend production meetings remotely, but may not attend in person at the team facility or hotel. He may also conduct an interview off-site with a player like he did last year a couple of times, including for the Super Bowl. Of course, as with any production meeting with broadcast teams, it's up to the club, coach, or players to determine what they say in those sessions. All right. So that is pretty much just a gist. So after reading this article, we got a pretty much clear picture. So Tom Brady is actually able to talk to players and coaches remotely in these meetings. He just cannot be on site. So I pretty much got to just throw away all of my notes that I wrote up for this show, because this is totally different from what was going on. And now I got an article here from Ben Johnson, because, you know, Ben Johnson, the Cowboys, and the Bears are part of the broadcast crew for Tom Brady. They got America's Game of the Week. And Ben Johnson had this to say about the Tom Brady situation. Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson says, meeting with Tom Brady and the Fox Sports production team will be business as usual. I've been careful in everything I've said since the season started. Johnson said when asked about Brady calling the game at the 6 o'clock mark of the Wednesday press conference, it's been a pure coach speak mode. To me, it's just business as usual. I'm just fine. I like Tom and we have a very good relationship. The Bears coach was then asked about how he would deal with the conflict of interest presented by Brady, who is a minority owner of the Raiders, preparing both to call a game and help the Raiders game plan for a future opponent. I'm really not worried about it. We change to week in terms of what we do. Schematically, he's going to be able to turn on the tape and see what everyone else in the world is seeing right now. Personnel-wise, really the same thing. It's not like I'm going to sit down with him. Hey, don't do this with Caleb. There's not going to be any trade secrets that are going to be exchanged. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you. So that is what Ben Johnson had to say. Now, let's give my 2 cents on this now that we have the clearer picture. And I wrote this down first off. Tom Brady is not stupid. He's not stupid. I know that Tom Brady was aware of the rules. It's Monday Night Football. It's a nationally televised game. If Tom Brady knew that he wasn't supposed to be in that booth with that headset on, he works for Fox, for Christ's sakes. He works for a TV company. He would have knew if it was against the rules to be there during that game with that equipment on. And I know this is another situation, people, you know, Tom Brady, he's been under a lot of fire for multiple scandals with the whole Deflategate thing. He's been accused of cheating multiple times with all types of stuff. Because it's Tom Brady, okay? Tom Brady's people has tried to find a way to discredit Tom Brady for the longest time. And this situation here with the Raiders is another situation of that. I can say this was not a great look for the league. And even having to come out with this article to clarify all this stuff. I don't know if ESPN knew what the repercussions of showing that would be. I doubt this is the first time at all that Tom Brady has been seen in the booth like this. I imagine he's been there multiple times. Um, it just wasn't a great look for the league. It puts in question, and this was the title of the show. It questions the NFL's integrity. A guy in Tom Brady, who is a minority owner for the team, who gets to go to rival teams, he can talk to any team that has a game that day. He's talked to the Chiefs before. He's talked to the Broncos. He's talked to the Chargers. So pretty much Tom Brady has been able to get information that could possibly benefit the Raiders. Now, and I even wrote here, is he part of Zoom meetings still? I don't know. So granted, we just found that out. He is able to take part in Zoom meetings. So he's not able to take part of practices. He's not able to sit and see the practices like his partner, Kurt Burkhardt, can. Tom Brady is not able to see that. So ultimately, given all this information, I do not think that Tom Brady gives the Raiders a competitive advantage. I don't. I don't see the problem with it. Tom Brady is not able to see with his own eyes the plays that is being run at practice to be able to relay this type of information to the Raiders. I don't. In Zoom meetings, when he's meeting with these players and coaches, it is pretty much up to the coach's discretion if they say something that would deem pretty valuable for Tom Brady to take as a competitive advantage against that team. So in my perspective, it's fair game. I think if the coach is dumb enough and stupid enough to do something as dumb as give away personal information like that, that is his fault. The coaches know this. The coaches are aware of this. I'm sure the front office for the head coaches, they all come together and like, hey, when you talk to Tom Brady, don't tell him anything important. And Ben Johnson was pretty much saying that. I'm not going to tell. It's not that big of a deal. This is one of the things in the media that everybody's just, trying to stir up some controversy about Tom Brady and just, stir up, overplay and overblow a situation that shouldn't be overblown like it is. This is just classic media stuff, I can say that I'm a part of the media, but I'm not going to sit here and overblow this. I don't have a problem with Tom Brady being in the booth. I don't. If he's got the headset on, I don't know. What I would like to know is, I'm sure, and I can pretty much infer as a competitor that Tom Brady is, I imagine that he's had some type of conversation about how to make the team better to Pete Carroll. Tom Brady has had his fingerprints on this team. I think he was the one that pretty much okayed the Geno Smith trade. So Tom Brady is part of the reason why the Raiders are built the way they are and how they are considered, a pretty good team. But I don't think that teams are giving away super, super valuable information that is going to cause the Las Vegas Raiders to have a competitive advantage over opponents. Because I would be indifferent about that if he was able to attend these production meetings on site. Because that is a big deal. You get one-on-one with the players. You get to see the practice. You get to see the plays. And with him being in the booth, he only has access to the stuff that he's available to him. He can't take no videos off his phone. He's only able to use the tablet, like they said, the Microsoft tablet. So I don't have no big problem with this. I don't. At the time, it wasn't a great look for the league because of all the tweets. You had a lot of people like the Tom Pelisseros and others. They were pretty much like, and I thought I saved the tweet, but I didn't, obviously. But I think it might have been deleted. Anyways, he said here, Warren Sharp said, the NFL deleted a tweet that they sent saying Tom Brady works closely with Chip Kelly to put game plans together. So there's been a whole lot of things going on. You had that, and James Palmer, he come out with this tweet talking about, so Tom Brady is in the booth and part of these games and part part of the game plan with the Raiders, and yet he gets to meet with these teams on a weekly basis for Fox. He was like, got it. So it wasn't a good look for the NFL to begin with. They should have, I feel like the NFL should have clarified exactly the type of access that Tom Brady has when he originally got the okay from the NFL to take part of the ownership responsibility while he was still with Fox. There should have been just a big article like they released today about it to bring more clarification, because I was even confused. I'm like, okay, if you're saying that he cannot take part in production meetings, why is he still able to talk to players and coaches? So he's able to do that via Zoom. So he's not able to see some important behind-the-scenes stuff with plays and things of that nature. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I may be in the wrong. That's just my personal opinion. And the only fishy thing I can say about this whole situation is the Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll thing. Somebody's lying about that, okay? There's no way Peter Schrager, he is a credible reporter, and he sourced Chip Kelly for this information. He said that Chip Kelly meets with Tom Brady multiple times a week, game planning and stuff. That's got to be true. That's got to be true. Now, I know this is the tricky thing in the NFL integrity part of this aspect of it. People might run away with that and be like, oh, Tom Brady's game planning with them because he has inside information about all the teams because he meets them with their production meetings with Fox. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Because I don't think coaches are dumb enough to give away important information to Tom Brady in these production meetings. I just don't. I don't think these coaches are that dumb. If they are, that is their problem. That's their fault. And they only have themselves to be mad about. So I saw my man Mad Dog. He was pretty mad about all this. He was like, Tom Brady shouldn't be a part of the production meetings. I don't have a problem with it. And in the end, it's a very odd situation. I'm just glad we got clarification about it, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So I'm on Tom Brady's side with this, and that's it. I want to know all of your comments down below on that. Let me know what you guys thought.